Welcome, dear listener, to this gentle journey through time. Take a moment now to settle into your space. Allow your body to find its most comfortable position. Breathe in deeply, hold for a moment, and breathe out slowly, releasing any tension you may be carrying. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel your shoulders softening, your jaw relaxing, your breath flowing naturally and peacefully. You are safe, you are comfortable. You are ready to drift into peaceful rest while your mind gently absorbs fascinating stories from our shared human past. There is no pressure tonight, no need to remember everything. Just allow these stories to wash over you like gentle waves. Your subconscious mind is already listening, already learning, already expanding. Now, close your eyes if you haven't already, and prepare for a restful night of discovery. Introduction. Tonight, you will journey through time, visiting 100 moments that shaped our world. Each story is a small window into the past, a glimpse of human triumph, curiosity, and sometimes delightful strangeness. These snapshots span thousands of years, from ancient civilizations building magnificent pyramids, to brave explorers crossing vast oceans, to scientists making discoveries that changed everything we know. You will meet emperors and inventors, warriors and artists, everyday people who did extraordinary things. Why does history matter, you may wonder? History connects us. It shows us that people across time have always been curious, creative, and wonderfully human. By understanding the past, we understand ourselves better. We see patterns, we learn lessons, we find inspiration. Tonight, as you rest, your mind will gently absorb these stories. There is no test tomorrow, no need to strain or concentrate. Simply allow the words to flow around you, like a gentle river carrying you toward peaceful sleep. Some stories may surprise you, others may make you smile. All of them will enrich your understanding of our shared human journey. Your mind is a remarkable thing. Even as you sleep, it processes, organizes, and remembers. Trust in this natural ability. Trust in the peaceful process of learning while you rest. And now, let us begin our journey through time. Ancient wonders, the dawn of civilization. Let us travel back, far back in time, to when humans first began building lasting monuments. In ancient Egypt, around 2580 BCE, workers constructed the Great Pyramid. This magnificent structure still stands today, a testament to human ambition and engineering. The pyramid was built as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, and it required millions of limestone blocks, each weighing several tons. There is something deeply moving about this achievement. It reminds us that humans have always dreamed big, always reached for the stars, even thousands of years ago. And speaking of Egypt, did you know that Cleopatra lived closer in time to the moon landing than to the building of the Great Pyramid? This fact helps us understand just how ancient, how truly old these monuments are. Cleopatra reigned from 51 BC to 30 BC, roughly 2,500 years after the pyramid was built, and roughly 2,000 years before astronauts walked on the moon in 1969. Time stretches farther than we often imagine. Ancient Egyptians were remarkably innovative. They used stone slabs as pillows, believing the head was the seat of spiritual life. They had drainage systems in their settlements, early forms of toilets, showing sophisticated understanding of hygiene. These were not primitive people. They were clever problem solvers, just like us. In ancient Rome, civilization flourished in ways that still influence us today. The Romans built roads that were 10 feet deep, layered with stone, sand, gravel, and volcanic rock. These roads were so well constructed that many modern European highways follow the same routes today. The saying, "all roads lead to Rome," captures this truth. Roman engineering connected an entire empire. Roman society was fascinatingly complex. Slaves could actually buy their freedom and were protected by law. This was unusual for ancient times, showing that Rome had developed sophisticated legal systems. The Romans also loved entertainment. They held wild animal hunts in massive arenas. The Colosseum could even be flooded for naval battles. Can you imagine ships fighting inside a building, the roar of the crowd, the splash of water, the drama of it all? Ancient Romans did some strange things by our standards. They used urine to wash their clothes, because urine contains ammonia, a powerful cleaning agent. The Emperor Vespasian even taxed urine collection. When someone complained about this unusual tax, he famously said, "Money doesn't smell," showing that practical Romans valued efficiency over squeamishness. Let us drift now to ancient Greece, where athletes competed in the Olympics. But unlike today, they performed completely naked. This was to honor the gods and to help their skin breathe through sweating. The word gymnastics comes from the Greek word for naked, reminding us of these ancient traditions. The ancient Greeks also had interesting beliefs. They thought that people with red hair would become vampires after death. This seems strange to us now, but it shows how people tried to make sense of things they didn't understand. Red-haired people were rare in Greece. Their pale skin and sensitivity to sunlight seemed mysterious, so myths developed to explain this difference. Breathe deeply now. Let these ancient stories settle into your mind. There is no hurry, no pressure. Just gentle learning as you rest. Medieval times, knights, kings, and kingdoms. Moving forward through time, we enter the medieval period, a time of castles and knights, of feudal systems and religious devotion. In 1066, William the Conqueror was crowned at Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day. But something went wrong during the ceremony. His guards mistook a shout of celebration for a defiant roar, and they massacred bystanders outside. This violent misunderstanding shows how tense those times were, how quickly celebration could turn to tragedy. Medieval society had fascinating customs. King Henry VIII of England had servants called grooms of stool, whose job was to wipe his bottom after using the bathroom. 4 men held this position, and King Henry actually knighted all of them, showing that even undignified work could lead to honor in the royal court. Henry VIII also had a suit of armor made for his dog, demonstrating the medieval love for chivalry and protection, even for beloved pets. This small detail helps us see that medieval people loved their animals, just as we do today. In medieval courts, jesters entertained kings. King Henry II had a jester named Roland, who had a special talent. He could perform 1 jump and whistle and 1 fart. The king loved this performance so much that he gave Roland a manor in Suffolk with 30 acres of land. This reminds us that humor, even silly humor, has always been valuable. Kings needed laughter just like everyone else. Medieval justice was unusual by our standards. In 1386, a pig was executed in France. The pig had attacked a child, who later died from the wounds. The pig was arrested, kept in prison, put on trial for murder, found guilty, and executed by hanging. Even animals were held to human laws, showing the medieval desire for justice, even if it seems strange to us now. In 1510, rats who destroyed a field of barley were summoned to trial. Their defense lawyer argued brilliantly. He said that attending court would put his clients at risk from local cats and dogs. A reasonable fear of death was enough to excuse a human from court, so surely the same applied to rats. The judge agreed and postponed the trial indefinitely. This shows medieval lawyers could be quite clever, even when defending rodents. The medieval period saw great construction projects. Castles rose across Europe. Cathedrals stretched toward heaven. The University of Oxford opened its doors in 1096, making it older than the Aztec Empire, which began in 1325. This helps us understand that not all old things are equally old. Human history layers upon itself, with some institutions lasting longer than entire civilizations. Let your breathing deepen now. Feel yourself relaxing more completely. These stories are finding their place in your memory, gently, naturally, easily. Renaissance and discovery. The world expands. As we move into the Renaissance, the world began to change rapidly. This was a time of rebirth, of new ideas, of exploration and invention. In 1436, Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press. This single invention transformed human civilization. Suddenly, books could be reproduced quickly and cheaply. Knowledge could spread to more people. Ideas could travel across borders. The printing press made mass education possible and helped trigger the Protestant Reformation and the scientific revolution. One invention, rippling through centuries. The Renaissance gave us many clever inventions. In 1560, an Italian couple named Simonio and Lindiana Bernacatti invented the pencil. They discovered that graphite sticks could be inserted into hollowed-out juniper wood. This kept the graphite clean and easy to use. The humble pencil, so simple, yet so important. Millions of ideas have been written with pencils, sketches drawn, calculations made. This small invention changed everything. In 1590, Zacharias Janssen invented the first microscope. This device had two lenses, one to capture tiny images and one to magnify them. Suddenly, humans could see the invisible world, bacteria, cells, the building blocks of life. This opened entirely new fields of science, showing us that reality contains layers beyond layers, worlds within worlds. A few years later, in 1608, Hans Lippershey invented the telescope. This device worked the opposite way, allowing people to see things far away as if they were nearby. Galileo improved the telescope in 1609 and used it to make astounding discoveries. He found 4 moons orbiting Jupiter. He proved that Earth revolves around the Sun, not the other way around. He showed that Earth's moon is not perfectly round. These discoveries challenged everything people thought they knew. The universe suddenly became much larger, much stranger, much more wonderful. Let yourself drift deeper into relaxation. Your mind is absorbing these stories, processing them, storing them away. There is nothing you need to do, just rest and listen. Renaissance explorers ventured across unknown seas. In 1522, Ferdinand Magellan's expedition became the first to circumnavigate the globe. Although Magellan himself died in the Philippines, his crew completed the journey. This proved that Earth is round, and showed that all the world's oceans connect. The world suddenly seemed both larger and smaller. Larger because the journey took so long, smaller because it could actually be done. In 1607, English colonists established Jamestown in Virginia. This was England's first permanent settlement in the New World. A new chapter of history began, though it came with great cost for the native peoples who already lived there. History is complex, full of triumph and tragedy, progress and loss. Understanding this complexity makes us wiser, more compassionate, more thoughtful about the choices we make today. The Renaissance also gave us unexpected things. Leonardo da Vinci secretly designed a submarine, though he never built it. He feared it would be used for war, so he kept his plans hidden. This shows that even centuries ago, inventors worried about the ethics of their creations, about how their inventions might be misused. These concerns feel very modern, yet they are timeless. Sir John Harington invented the flush toilet during the Renaissance. He was the godson of Queen Elizabeth, but his invention was laughed at by his friends. So flush toilets weren't widely adopted for another 200 years. Sometimes good ideas take time to catch on. Sometimes the world isn't ready. This reminds us to be patient, to persevere. Even when others don't immediately understand, breathe slowly and deeply. Feel peace washing over you. These stories are becoming part of you, gently, softly, easily. Age of Enlightenment, Reason and Revolution. As we move into the 1700s, the Age of Enlightenment began. This was a time when people questioned old assumptions, when science and reason became more valued, when new political ideas emerged. In 1776, the American colonies declared independence from Britain. This was revolutionary, both literally and figuratively. The Declaration of Independence stated that all men are created equal, that they have certain unalienable rights. These ideas spread around the world, influencing countless other movements for freedom and justice. Words written on paper, changing the course of history. Something touching happened in 1826. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, both founding fathers, both former presidents, died within hours of each other on July 4th, the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Adams's last words were, "Jefferson lives," not knowing his old friend had died earlier that day. This coincidence feels almost poetic, as if these two men who had worked together and disagreed with each other were connected even in death. In France, revolution came too. In 1789, the French people rose up against their king, demanding liberty, equality, and fraternity. The revolution was violent and chaotic. King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette were both beheaded by guillotine in 1793. It is said that people dipped handkerchiefs in their blood as souvenirs. This gruesome detail shows how revolutionary fervor can lead to dark places. Even movements for freedom can lose their way. The guillotine itself was invented to create equality in execution. Before this, methods of execution in France were brutal and varied by social class. The guillotine was meant to be quick and painless for everyone, rich or poor. This strange form of equality shows how even dark aspects of society can reflect the values of an age. Let yourself sink deeper into rest. Your breathing is slow and steady. Your body is completely relaxed. These stories are flowing through your mind like a gentle stream. In 1796, Edward Jenner created the first vaccine, using cowpox virus to protect against smallpox. This discovery would eventually save millions of lives. In fact, smallpox has now been completely eradicated from the world. This is one of humanity's greatest achievements, showing what we can accomplish when we apply science and cooperation. One doctor's observation, changing the world forever. The 1700s saw the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. James Watt improved the steam engine, making it practical for widespread use. Suddenly, machines could do work that previously required dozens of people or animals. Factories rose, cities grew. The world transformed in just a few generations. Transportation changed, manufacturing changed, the way people lived and worked, all different now. The spinning jenny, invented by James Hargreaves in 1764, revolutionized textile production. This machine could spin multiple threads at once, making cloth production much faster. Weaving moved from homes to factories. This changed not just economics, but families, communities, entire ways of life. Progress always brings change, and change is rarely simple. Abraham Lincoln is known as America's 16th president, the man who ended slavery. But did you know he was also a skilled wrestler? Lincoln reportedly won 300 bouts and had only one known defeat. He was also a licensed bartender. In 1833, he opened a bar called Barry and Lincoln with his friend William F. Barry. The shop eventually closed when Barry, who was an alcoholic, consumed most of the shop's supply. This detail makes Lincoln more human, more real, showing that even great historical figures had everyday struggles and pursuits. Rest now. Let these stories settle in your mind. There is nothing to memorize, nothing to worry about, just peaceful absorption of knowledge. The modern world, innovation, and transformation. As we enter the 20th century, the pace of change accelerates. In 1903, the Wright brothers achieved the first powered flight. Fewer than 10 people witnessed this historic moment. Yet it changed everything. Within decades, airplanes would connect the entire world. The sky, once the domain of birds, now belonged to humanity too. In 1945, World War II ended, but not before introducing a terrible new weapon, the atomic bomb. The United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. These bombs killed hundreds of thousands of people and brought the war to a sudden end. One man, Tsutomu Yamaguchi, survived both bombings. He was in Hiroshima on business when the first bomb fell. He survived with injuries, then returned to his hometown of Nagasaki, just in time for the second bomb. Miraculously, he survived again. This man's experience shows the resilience of the human spirit, even in the most unimaginable circumstances. After World War II, the Cold War began. The United States and Soviet Union competed for global influence. This competition extended even to space. In 1961, Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human to orbit Earth. The space race had begun. In 1969, American astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon. Armstrong's words echoed around the world. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Humanity had reached another world. This achievement required the work of thousands of people. Scientists, engineers, mathematicians, all working together toward a common goal. The 20th century saw remarkable medical advances. Antibiotics drastically reduced deaths from bacterial diseases. Vaccines eliminated or controlled many diseases that once killed millions. Polio, smallpox, measles, all conquered or greatly reduced. Life expectancy increased dramatically in developed nations, showing that scientific progress can genuinely improve human welfare. In 1953, James Watson and Francis Crick, along with Rosalind Franklin and Maurice Wilkins, determined the structure of DNA. This discovery revealed the fundamental building blocks of life, how traits pass from parents to children, how evolution works at the molecular level. This knowledge opened the door to genetic medicine, biotechnology, even the ability to clone organisms. The first mammal was cloned in 1996, a sheep named Dolly. Each discovery leads to new possibilities, new questions, new frontiers to explore. Let your mind rest deeply now. You are learning, growing, expanding, even as you sleep. This is easy. This is peaceful. The 20th century also brought incredible technological change. The invention of the computer transformed civilization. The first computers filled entire rooms and could do less than a modern smartphone. But they evolved quickly. By the 1980s, personal computers entered homes. By the 1990s, the internet connected the world. Information that once took days to find could now be accessed in seconds. This changes everything about how we learn, work, and communicate. Wars and peace, humanity's greatest challenges. Throughout history, humans have struggled with conflict. World War I, from 1914 to 1918, was supposed to be the war to end all wars. It wasn't. The war killed millions, introduced terrible new weapons like poison gas and tanks, and reshaped the map of Europe. Yet even in this darkness, there were moments of humanity. On Christmas Day 1914, soldiers on both sides of the Western Front stopped fighting. They climbed out of their trenches, met in no man's land, exchanged gifts, played football together. For one day, enemies became human beings again. This unofficial truce shows that even in war, the human desire for peace and connection persists. World War II brought even greater devastation. More than 60 million people died, cities were destroyed, entire populations were murdered in the Holocaust. Yet even in this horror, there were heroes. People who hid refugees, who resisted tyranny, who maintained their humanity when everything encouraged them to abandon it. Did you know that a Great Dane named Juliana was awarded the Blue Cross Medal during World War II? She extinguished an incendiary bomb by urinating on it. This small, absurd detail reminds us that history contains everything, tragedy and comedy, heroism in unexpected forms. There were also remarkable women who challenged gender barriers. Flora Murray and Louisa Garrett Anderson, both qualified doctors, attempted to join the Armed Forces Medical Services in 1914, but were refused because of their sex. So they set up their own independent hospital with all-female staff, surgeons, anesthesiologists, nurses. It rapidly became regarded as the best hospital in the UK. This shows that when official doors close, determined people can build their own doors. The Cold War followed World War II, lasting from roughly 1947 to 1991. The United States and Soviet Union never fought directly, but they competed everywhere, in proxy wars, in arms races, in technological achievements. In 1962, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, the world came terrifyingly close to nuclear war. A Soviet submarine crew actually debated launching a nuclear torpedo. One officer, Vasily Arkhipov, cast the deciding vote against it. His decision may have saved millions of lives. Yet most people have never heard his name. History is full of such quiet heroes, people who made crucial decisions that prevented disaster. Breathe deeply and peacefully. Feel yourself drifting, floating. These stories are part of you now, woven into your understanding of the world. Strange and wonderful, history's odd moments. History is not just dates and battles. It is also full of strange, wonderful, and sometimes absurd moments that remind us of human creativity and weirdness. In 1518 in Strasbourg, a woman named Frau Troa began dancing in the streets. She danced for a week straight. Soon others joined her. Within a month, between 50 and 400 people were caught in this dancing plague. They danced until they collapsed. Some even died from exhaustion. No one knows why this happened. Mass hysteria, ergot poisoning from moldy grain, or something else entirely. This mystery reminds us that history still holds secrets, things we may never fully understand. Napoleon Bonaparte, the great military conqueror, was once attacked by rabbits. He had arranged a rabbit hunt for himself and his men, but when the rabbits were released from their cages, instead of running away, they charged at Napoleon and his men. It was an unstoppable onslaught of bunnies. The mighty Napoleon, who had conquered much of Europe, was defeated by rabbits. This humorous moment shows that even the most powerful people can be humbled by the unexpected. In 1932, the government of Western Australia declared war on emus. The emus were damaging crops, so soldiers armed with machine guns were sent to hunt them. But the emus proved elusive. Despite firing thousands of rounds, the soldiers killed only a few birds. Eventually, the government declared peace and gave up. This emu war shows that nature doesn't always cooperate with human plans, even with machine guns on one side. Abraham Lincoln had several strange qualities. He was tall at 6 feet 4 inches. He was an excellent wrestler. He once opened a bar that failed. He also patented an invention, a device to lift boats over shoals and obstructions in rivers. He is the only U.S. president to hold a patent. These details make Lincoln more than just a serious statesman. They make him a real person with varied interests and abilities. George Washington, the first American president, opened a whiskey distillery after his presidency. By 1799, his distillery was the largest in the country, producing 11,000 gallons of whiskey annually. Our founding fathers were practical men who understood business as well as politics. Let yourself relax even more completely. Your body is heavy with peaceful rest. Your mind is absorbing these stories effortlessly. President Andrew Jackson had a pet parrot named Polly. He taught the parrot to curse like a sailor. Legend says the parrot had to be removed from Jackson's funeral because of its profanity. Can you imagine a funeral interrupted by a cursing parrot? This detail is funny, but it also shows that historical figures had quirks and humor, just like people today. In 1945, a microwave oven was accidentally invented when engineer Percy Spencer found that radio waves from a radar set melted a chocolate bar in his pocket. This accident led to an invention that changed how millions of people cook. Sometimes the best discoveries come from paying attention to unexpected results. Thomas Crapper did not invent the flushing toilet, despite the popular belief, but he did help popularize it and developed related inventions. And contrary to popular belief, the word crap doesn't come from his name. It has Middle English origins. This reminds us that many things we know about history are actually myths. It's important to question and verify. Charles Darwin invented his own wheeled office chair. He found himself walking back and forth between benches and desks in his study. To save time and maximize productivity, he attached wheels to his armchair. Even great scientists appreciate convenience and efficiency. Everyday lives, how people really lived. Sometimes the most fascinating history isn't about kings and battles, but about how ordinary people lived their daily lives. In colonial America, people used knocker-uppers. These were people whose job was to knock on windows to wake others up for work. This was before alarm clocks existed. Knocker-uppers used long sticks, soft hammers, rattles, or even pea shooters to reach windows. This occupation lasted in some places until the 1970s. Think about how much our lives have changed. Now we have smartphones that wake us. But once, a person actually came to your window. During the Great Depression, people made clothes out of food sacks, flour bags, potato sacks, anything made of burlap. Because of this trend, food distributors started making their sacks more colorful to help people remain somewhat fashionable. This shows human resilience, the ability to adapt and make beauty even in difficult circumstances. In Victorian times, it was normal to photograph dead loved ones. People would dress their deceased relatives in their best clothes, pose them as if alive, and take photographs. This was often the only photograph a family would have of that person. It seems strange to us now, but it shows how people tried to hold on to memories, to keep their loved ones close, even in death. During Prohibition in the United States, from 1920 to 1933, it wasn't actually illegal to drink alcohol. The law prohibited producing, selling, and transporting alcohol. But possession and consumption in your own home were legal. So if you already had alcohol stashed away, you could drink it. This detail shows how laws can be more nuanced than we realize. In ancient Rome, tablecloths were designed as one big communal napkin. Guests were expected to wipe their hands and faces on the tablecloth after a messy meal. Hygiene standards were different then, but the principle was the same: provide something to clean up with. Rest deeply now. Let these glimpses into past lives enrich your understanding. There is no effort required, just gentle, peaceful learning. In 18th century England, pineapples were such a status symbol that wealthy people would carry them around to show off. They wouldn't eat them, just display them. Everything from clothing to housewares was decorated with pineapple motifs. This seems absurd to us now, when pineapples are cheap and common, but it reminds us that value is often about rarity, not inherent worth. In medieval England, the word ask was pronounced axe. This pronunciation even appeared in the first English translation of the Bible: ask, and it shall be given. Language changes over time. What seems wrong today might have been correct yesterday. This should make us more accepting of linguistic evolution. The Romans had a fascinating relationship with money. They knew their currency well. Emperor Vespasian taxed urine collection because urine was valuable to laundries. When someone complained about this disgusting tax, Vespasian held up a coin and said, "Money doesn't smell." This pragmatic attitude helped Rome thrive economically. Turning points, moments that changed everything. Some moments in history serve as turning points, after which nothing is quite the same. In 1215, English nobles forced King John to sign the Magna Carta. This document limited the king's power and established that everyone, even the monarch, is subject to law. This principle influenced constitutional governments around the world. The idea that leaders must follow rules, that rights should be protected. These concepts trace back to this medieval document. In 1453, Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Turks. This ended the Byzantine Empire, which had lasted for over 1,000 years. It also blocked traditional trade routes to Asia, which encouraged European explorers to seek new routes, which led to the Age of Discovery, which brought Europeans to the Americas, one event cascading into another, changing the entire world. In 1517, Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to a church door in Germany. This act sparked the Protestant Reformation, splitting Christianity in Europe. The Catholic Church's authority was challenged, religious wars followed, but also religious freedom, the idea that individuals could interpret Scripture themselves. This changed not just religion but politics, education, and society. In 1789, French revolutionaries stormed the Bastille prison in Paris. This symbolic act began the French Revolution, which overthrew the monarchy, inspired revolutions across Europe, and spread ideas about democracy, equality, and human rights. The revolution was violent and chaotic, but it permanently changed how people thought about government and society. In 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing slaves in Confederate states. This transformed the American Civil War from a war to preserve the Union into a war to end slavery. It paved the way for the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery throughout the United States. One document changing millions of lives. Its effects still ripple through American society today. Breathe slowly, feel peace and calm. Your mind is processing these important moments, storing them away for future understanding. In 1969, Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon. This wasn't just an American achievement, it was a human achievement. For the first time, our species had left our home planet and walked on another world. This expanded our sense of possibility. If we could go to the moon, what else could we accomplish? This achievement required global cooperation, cutting-edge science, and tremendous courage. In 1989, the Berlin Wall fell. This wall had divided East and West Berlin since 1961, symbolizing the division between communist and democratic societies. When East Germans began to cross freely to the West, the Cold War began to end. By 1991, the Soviet Union dissolved. This peaceful transition shows that even systems that seem permanent can change, that people's desire for freedom can overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. In 1990, Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web, allowing different computers to share information easily. This invention transformed how we communicate, learn, work, and live. Information that once required visiting libraries, consulting experts, waiting days or weeks, now appears instantly on our screens. This changes everything about human knowledge and connection. Scientific triumphs, understanding our world. Science has given us tools to understand reality in ways our ancestors could never imagine. In the 1600s, Galileo Galilei used his telescope to observe the moons of Jupiter. This proved that not everything orbits Earth, challenging the geocentric view of the universe. He also discovered that the Earth's moon is not perfectly smooth, and that Venus has phases like our moon. These observations supported the heliocentric model, that Earth and other planets orbit the Sun, not the other way around. This changed everything about how we understand our place in the cosmos. Isaac Newton developed the laws of motion and universal gravitation in the late 1600s. These laws explained how objects move, how planets orbit the Sun, how an apple falls from a tree. For the first time, the same principles that governed the heavens also governed Earth. This unity was revolutionary. It showed that the universe follows consistent, understandable rules that we can discover through observation and mathematics. In the 1800s, Louis Pasteur's experiments proved the germ theory of disease. He showed that tiny microorganisms cause illness, that sterilization prevents infection, that vaccines can protect against disease. This transformed medicine completely. Before Pasteur, doctors didn't understand why wounds became infected, why diseases spread. Now they knew and could do something about it. Millions of lives have been saved because of this understanding. Let yourself drift deeper into restful sleep. These scientific stories are enriching your mind, expanding your sense of wonder, helping you appreciate the progress humans have made. In 1905, Albert Einstein published his theory of special relativity. This showed that time and space are not absolute, but relative to the observer. That energy and mass are interchangeable, EMC swayed. This equation explained how stars shine, and eventually led to nuclear power and nuclear weapons. Einstein's theories showed that reality is stranger and more wonderful than anyone had imagined. In 1928, Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin by accident. He noticed that mold killed bacteria in a petri dish. This discovery led to antibiotics, medicines that fight bacterial infections. Before antibiotics, simple infections could be fatal. Now most are easily treatable. This accidental discovery saved countless millions of lives, showing that scientific progress sometimes comes from paying attention to the unexpected. The Human Genome Project, completed in 2003, mapped all the genes in human DNA. This revealed the genetic instruction book for making a human being. It helps us understand genetic diseases, develop targeted treatments, and comprehend our evolutionary history. This knowledge is still being explored, still revealing new insights about what makes us human. Cultural achievements, art, literature, and expression. Humans don't just survive, we create, we express, we make beauty. In the 1590s, William Shakespeare wrote his greatest plays, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, and many others. These plays explored the depths of human emotion, love, ambition, jealousy, regret. Shakespeare's words still resonate today because they capture universal truths about being human. Interestingly, Shakespeare also originated the "Yo Mama" joke. In his play Titus Andronicus, one character says, "Thou hast undone our mother," to which another replies, "Villain, I have done thy mother." Even great literature contains humor and sass. In 1320, Dante Alighieri completed the Divine Comedy. This epic poem describes a journey through hell, purgatory, and paradise. It's considered one of the greatest works in literary history. Dante wrote in vernacular Italian rather than Latin, helping establish Italian as a literary language. His vivid imagery and profound themes influenced literature, art, and theology for centuries. In 1503, Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa. This portrait is perhaps the most famous painting in the world. People still marvel at her mysterious smile, at the subtle techniques da Vinci used, at the way she seems to look at you from any angle. This painting shows that art can transcend time, connecting us to people who lived 500 years ago. Let your mind rest peacefully. These creative achievements show the best of humanity, our capacity for beauty, for expression, for touching others across the centuries. In 1877, Thomas Edison invented the phonograph. For the first time, sound could be recorded and played back. This changed music, communication, and entertainment forever. People could hear voices of the dead, music from distant places. Previously, if you wanted to hear music, someone had to perform it right then. Now music could be preserved and shared. In 1895, the Lumiere brothers held the first public film screening. Moving pictures captivated audiences. Within decades, cinema became a major art form, telling stories, documenting reality, creating dreams. Films connect us emotionally, help us see through others' eyes, expand our empathy and imagination. In the 1950s, television became widespread in homes. This brought the world into people's living rooms. News from distant places, entertainment, education. For better and worse, television shaped culture, influenced politics, connected humanity in new ways. Personal stories, individual lives that matter. Behind every historical event are individual people, with hopes, fears, and stories. Joan of Arc was just a teenager when she led French armies to victory against the English. She claimed to hear voices from God, guiding her actions. She routed the English, survived a 60-foot escape leap from a tower uninjured, was falsely accused of heresy, and burned at the stake, all between the ages of 17 and 19. Her faith and courage inspired a nation, even though she died so young. Helen Keller lost her sight and hearing at 19 months old due to illness. Yet she learned to communicate, to read, to write. She graduated from college, became an author and activist. Her life shows that human potential can overcome seemingly impossible obstacles, that disability doesn't limit one's ability to contribute and inspire. Harriet Tubman was born into slavery but escaped to freedom. Then she risked her life repeatedly, returning to slave states to lead others to freedom through the Underground Railroad. She made 13 missions and rescued approximately 70 enslaved people. During the Civil War, she served as a scout, spy, and nurse. Her courage and compassion saved lives and advanced the cause of freedom. Breathe deeply and peacefully. These individual stories remind us that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, that one person's courage can change many lives. Oskar Schindler was a German industrialist during World War II. He saved the lives of 1,200 Jews by employing them in his factories, protecting them from concentration camps. He spent his fortune bribing Nazi officials and buying protection for his Jews. After the war, he was nearly penniless, but the people he saved never forgot. His story, later told in the film Schindler's List, shows that moral courage can exist even in the darkest times. Malala Yousafzai was shot by the Taliban for advocating for girls' education in Pakistan. She survived and continued her activism, becoming the youngest person ever to win the Nobel Peace Prize at age 17. Her courage in the face of violence inspired millions, showing that young people can change the world, that education is worth fighting for. These personal stories teach us that history isn't just about big movements and famous leaders. It's about individuals making choices, showing courage, standing up for what's right. Each of us has the potential to make a difference, to be remembered, to change things for the better. Lessons from the past, what history teaches us. As we near the end of our journey through time, let us reflect on what these stories teach us. History shows us that progress is not inevitable. Civilizations rise and fall, knowledge can be lost and rediscovered. The Library of Alexandria, one of the ancient world's greatest centers of learning, was destroyed. Centuries of accumulated knowledge, gone. This teaches us to protect and preserve what we know, to value education and cultural institutions. History also teaches us that change can happen faster than we expect. In 1900, most people traveled by horse. By 1969, humans walked on the moon. Just 69 years, less than one human lifetime. This teaches us not to assume that current limitations are permanent, that the impossible can become possible. History shows us that ordinary people matter. Most historical changes come not from single great individuals, but from movements of many people working together. The civil rights movement, the fall of the Berlin Wall, scientific advances, all required collective effort. This teaches us that our actions matter, that we can contribute to positive change. Let these lessons settle into your mind as you rest. History is not just about the past. It's about understanding ourselves, understanding patterns, understanding possibilities. History teaches us that different cultures have different strengths. Ancient China invented paper, gunpowder, the compass, and printing. Medieval Islamic scholars preserved Greek and Roman knowledge, developed algebra, made astronomical observations. Every culture has contributed to human progress. This teaches us to respect diversity, to learn from each other. History shows us that mistakes repeat when we forget. Wars arise from the same causes, injustice takes similar forms. Understanding history helps us recognize these patterns, and hopefully avoid repeating the worst mistakes. As philosopher George Santayana said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. History reminds us of human resilience. People have survived wars, plagues, famines, natural disasters, yet humanity persists, adapts, rebuilds. This teaches us hope, that challenges can be overcome, that difficult times don't last forever. Connection across time. As you drift into deeper sleep, consider this. You are connected to all these stories, all these people, across thousands of years. The atoms in your body were formed in ancient stars, billions of years ago. You share DNA with every human who ever lived, going back to our earliest ancestors in Africa. You benefit from countless inventions, from the wheel to the internet, from the alphabet to antibiotics. You are part of an unbroken chain of humanity, stretching back to the first humans who looked up at the stars and wondered, who painted on cave walls, who told stories around fires, who asked questions and sought answers. And you are part of the future too. The choices you make, the kindness you show, the knowledge you share, these ripple forward, affecting people you'll never meet, just as people in the past have affected you without knowing it. This connection across time is profound, humbling, inspiring. You matter, your life matters, your story is part of the great human story, still being written. Let yourself feel this connection as you sleep. You are part of something vast and beautiful, something that has survived for millennia and will continue long after. This knowledge can bring peace, perspective, purpose. And so our journey through 100 historical snapshots comes to a close. We have traveled from ancient Egypt to the moon landing, from medieval castles to modern discoveries, from devastating wars to triumphant achievements. Let us gently recap what we have learned together. You have absorbed stories of innovation, the printing press spreading knowledge, the telescope expanding our view of the universe, vaccines saving millions of lives, each invention building on what came before, each discovery opening new possibilities. You have absorbed stories of courage, explorers crossing unknown seas, activists fighting for justice, individuals standing up against overwhelming odds. These stories remind us that bravery takes many forms, and that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. You have absorbed stories of creativity, artists painting timeless beauty, writers crafting words that still move us, builders constructing monuments that stand for millennia. Humans don't just survive, we create, we express, we leave our mark. You have absorbed strange and wonderful moments. Dancing plagues and Napoleon attacked by rabbits, emus defeating armies and parrots cursing at funerals. These reminders that history is not just serious, but full of humor, weirdness, and delightful surprises. Breathe slowly now, deeply and peacefully. All these stories are now part of you. Your mind has been absorbing them, organizing them, storing them away in your memory. This has happened naturally, effortlessly, while you rested. These 100 snapshots are not just facts to remember, they are windows into human experience. They show us what we are capable of, both wonderful and terrible. They help us understand ourselves, our society, our possibilities. As you continue sleeping tonight, your subconscious mind will continue processing these stories, making connections, finding patterns, linking new knowledge to what you already know. This process happens naturally, without any effort from you. Trust in your mind's remarkable ability to learn even during sleep. When you wake tomorrow morning, you may not remember every detail, and that's perfectly fine. What matters is that you have enriched your understanding of history, broadened your perspective, connected yourself more deeply to the human story. You may find yourself thinking about these stories at unexpected moments, recognizing patterns in current events, feeling connected to people from different times and places, appreciating how far humanity has come, understanding how much we still have to learn. If you enjoyed this peaceful learning experience, if you found value in these gentle history lessons, you might consider subscribing for more calm content, more journeys through fascinating topics, more opportunities to learn while you rest. But there is no pressure, just an invitation if this brought you peace and enrichment. For now, simply rest. Let sleep take you wherever it wishes, knowing that you have spent this time well, learning, growing, expanding your mind, connecting with the vast sweep of human history. You are part of this history, part of this ongoing story. Your life matters, your choices matter. You are connected across time to all these people we've met tonight. The ancient Egyptians building pyramids, the Renaissance inventors creating new tools, the brave individuals standing up for what's right. Sleep peacefully now, deeply, restfully, completely. Let these stories and lessons settle into your mind like seeds planted in fertile soil. They will grow, bloom, bear fruit in your understanding and your life. Thank you for taking this journey through time. Sweet dreams, peaceful rest, and may you wake refreshed, enriched, and connected to the beautiful, complex, inspiring story of humanity. Good night, sleep well, and remember, you are part of history too. Your story continues tomorrow, making the world just a little bit better, leaving your mark, connecting past to future. Rest now, peacefully, completely, beautifully. Good night.